Ladies, gentlemen, let the show begin. Alright, do you like video games? And I know you do. What about entertainment? We got that too. Video game, I'm not a video game. Video game, oh, what's the name? Video Game Armada. This is the one John the Gamer Boss runs.
And the information on for a true backlash.
And the First Lady of Media Blue.
Coming back to you with a movie review. Yay! Talking about the latest Lego movie series, and I'm surprised Lego has a series now. Ninjago, the movie. So, before when Lego was first starting the series, and I said, let's go see that. Blue thought I was crazy, but it turned out to be really, really good.
It's pick on Blue again.
I'm sorry.
Every day.
This is the last one.
This is not the last one. People, send money, GoFundMe, so that I can go ahead and start my. I'm sorry.
I heard that. You would think one business is enough, but you always try to grab more and more businesses. Man, I don't know what your social life is, but it's all probably in a laptop somewhere. Oh. Anywho, and then we have Batman the movie, Lego, and I'm glad to say that was good, fun, take the whole family. So, what did we think about the Ninjago movie? Let's talk about the premise. Backlash, if you would, please.
Why, indubitably, sir. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you've seen these kind of movies where they're just cartoony enough to have a super villain, to try to take over a town, Megamind, the Powerpuff Girls movie, yada yada yada. Ninjago.
My Little Pony movie in a minute. Yikes.
Yep, Ninjago movie is one of those movies. For you see, the evil Lord Garmadon always terrifies the city of Ninjago, where even the cameos of a surprisingly yellow-looking Michael Strahan and Robin Roberts from Good Morning America.
I thought that was weird myself.
Yep.
I know they have black Legos.
Yeah.
So
maybe they just didn't want to go flesh color. Everybody's yellow. Everybody's we got the same skin color as the Lego. Okay. Where you got Michael Strahan and Robin Roberts saying that the city pretty much gets attacked frequently, and pretty much, I'm assuming, by Garmadon himself. The city seems like, it's Tuesday, and they go on about their business except for one thing. Lord Garmadon's son, Lloyd Garmadon, is just a normal high school kid, trying to go about his obligatory teeny bopper life, but everyone knows Lloyd is Garmadon's son. And he's practically a pariah in Ninjago City, to the point where they make fun of him. And everyone makes fun of him in the city. Everyone. But it's also funny that Lloyd is the Green Ninja of a ninja force headed up by the Jackie Chan voice, Sensei Wu. Other members include Nia, the girl, Jay, the dork, Cole, the DJ, Kai, Mia's brother, that's pretty much it. And, that's pretty much it. And
think Power Rangers, but for Legos. And ninjas that are not really ninjas.
Yeah. But sadly, torn by his own plight, Lloyd takes extreme measures in trying to rid Ninjago City of his dad, Lord Garmadon, forever, and it ends up backfiring. So the ninjas have to set things right.
Yeah, I feel bad for the Green Ninja in this case because he has some serious daddy issues to work through.
Oh, yeah.
And that's pretty much the movie, more or less. But it's still entertaining and a blast. And let's start with it. What was the goods? What'd you guys like about this movie?
Well, there were actually a ton of goods.
Oh, please.
It was the type of goods that it was crazy. We walked into the theater and it was like no place to sit because it was polluted with little people, big people, medium people,
this is not
old people.
this is not just for the little kids. There was plenty of little kids,
it was,
but it's for adults.
Yeah,
and
Lego nerd, adult
old
Lego
people.
Yeah.
I saw some grandfathers in there.
Yes. And they weren't with kids.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like giant. I mean, you got adult Lego nerds and entire families going to the movie theater instead of just a place where you just park your kid. It was a family affair. It was a movie event. It was more.
I'm pretty sure we saw some reviewers there too, doing their job like us, seeing this. This was the first weekend of the movie, so it was going to be a packed house no matter what. And sure enough, it was.
It really was. It was great to go.
Got a crick in my neck and everything.
I had a really good seat. I'm sorry.
Lucky.
Sorry.
It's Resurrection F all over again.
Yeah.
And I also really loved the color in the movie. I thought the colors were so vivid and crisp, and all the little Lego characters had their personalities that were hard to believe you really, at the end of the movie, were really looking at inanimate objects, just like Legos. I mean, for goodness sakes, if anybody told me like 10 years ago I'd be going to Lego movies and having a good time, I would have denied. I also like the fact that I thought the actual characters were really well paired up with their actor. Their actor did demonstrate their character, just it was a superb type of matching. And then I also liked it because it was funny. It had some really good moments.
It had some pretty interesting jokes in there. Most were funny. Some just came out of left field, but in a good way. Like some of that stuff, like a couple of jokes, just came out of nowhere and said, "Whoa, I didn't expect to see that in a Lego movie." But it was not obscene or weird or nouveau or edgy. It was just well, that happened. That was neat. Yeah,
Hilarious.
Gary Garmadon, I'll say this. For those purists who watched the Ninjago show or played the Ninjago video games,
I've watched the show, never played the games, but I'm going to save my commentary about that in a minute.
I'll just say this: it's different. It takes its own spin on the adaptation, and that's neither a good nor a bad thing. And I won't label it as such. It's just something that you have to adjust to, and that won't be a good or bad for me. But I just wanted to bring it up to say that, whereas Garmadon is silly in the Ninjago show, he's more taken more seriously as a more stoic Asian master or supervillain, depending on which season you're on. Here, he is hamming it up pretty hard, and it's all mostly thanks to Justin Theroux and whoever was the voice director at the time directing him.
What Justin Theroux? What else does he play?
You see, I really...
Is he famous? Is he something that's showing now?
He's a B-plus lister, and, I should be ashamed of myself. I think I only know him for being Julia Roberts' husband. or was it Jennifer Aniston's husband?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Jennifer Aniston's husband. But he was very good in this movie. The actors they picked they're decent. I'll give them their due. The guy who played Lloyd, Dave Franco, for what they wanted Lloyd to be in this movie, he was spot on. He was perfect. It goes without saying, Jackie Chan was awesome. In his later years, as he slowed down in the action department, his English is getting a lot better, ironically.
Oh, he's had 70, 80 years to practice? Well, let's be fair, 40 years to practice.
You compare that to Rumble in the Bronx or Super Cop or even Kung Fu Panda and the Rush Hour series. It's a lot better now. I'll say this. Sensei Wu was amazing. So, again, Sensei Wu was divergent from the show, but they kept one thing. He liked to play his flute. And that's what he did in Ninjago, at least in the early seasons. They took that aspect of what it ran with him playing all these licensed tracks on a flute, and it was like...
You haven't lived until you heard Eye of the Tiger played by a Lego Asian man.
And good, too.
Yeah,
well
good.
done.
Hard Knock Life, Welcome to the Jungle.
It had great music. It had great music.
Was it Eye of the Tiger or was it in the jungle?
Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah. And then, back to the Justin Theroux question, he actually was in the movie Zoolander.
Oh.
He actually had quite a few movies. One of them being Zoolander. I don't know if you recall his role as the evil DJ.
Oh, him! I remember
That
him.
was wild.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah,
Don't do
exactly.
it.
Yeah. And then it was also he
Break
played
dance fighting.
amongst others that we would really remember was Tropic Thunder.
Huh.
Cool.
I know.
He has done some
So
stuff
he's
then.
done
That's
some
neat.
stuff. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And he really was a good Garbodon.
He was pretty good, yes. I out of everything I liked about the movie, I appreciate the comedy most of all. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when in a long time, I haven't seen a lot of comedies lately. Everything is, dramatic and serious and dark and gruesome and weird and just all sorts of weird, stupid things I'm seeing in movies.
Death is under my bed.
Scary clouds, scary clouds.
Scary clouds.
It's the return of the scary clouds.
Blood on my
Help
keyboard.
me.
Blood on my keyboard.
Oh yeah, friend request. That's a horror thing now.
Yeah.
Where's the funny? Where's the laugh? Where's the
Lightheartedness.
yeah?
They picked for each one of the ninja members of the ninja group. They picked all these comedians to play all these roles, and I can't tell you the names of all of them right now. I will say that Lloyd's mom, Coco, based off Misako from the show, is played by Olivia Munn.
Isn't that crazy?
She keeps trying that, Olivia Munn.
Yeah, she keeps popping up.
I'll give her credit. I'll give her credit for. As much as I liked her in X-Men Apocalypse, I thought she was great as Psylocke. She seems to really want to gravitate still towards comedy, and I respect her for keeping on trying.
And for those who don't remember who Olivia Munn is, who is Olivia Munn?
Well, we know her from Attack of the Show on the late great G4. Rest in peace, G4.
Before it sold out and became lame.
Yes.
But she was also in the HBO show The Newsroom, and she was also briefly on The Daily Show.
And wasn't she a superhero somewhere?
Yeah, she was
Psylocke.
She was an X-Men.
Yeah.
So thanks to Blue, I managed to get some more information. Kumail Nanjiani, who was in Central Intelligence, I remember that. He was Jay. I don't know who Abby Jacobson is. She was Nia. Fred Armisen from SNL was Cole. And Michael Pena is Kai. And Zach Woods, I never heard of Zach Woods. He was Zane. So those are the names themselves, but they clearly, what you want to know about Hollywood is, instead of just getting just voice actors who's just done cartoons for the most of their careers, then just are good with Western cartoons, they've pretty much grouped into three different types of groups: child stars, former anime dubbers, and in this movie, comedians. So they decided to get every affordable celebrity and comedian they could to fill these roles, and you know what? They did very good. They did very good work. I like them keeping certain Lego movie tropes, like instilling a bit of heart into the movie. I also liked their mix of realism in spots with the modeling of the movie. And I'll say this: it felt like a deconstruction of the Power Rangers at first.
It did.
Because
It absolutely did.
Because in the show Ninjago, they have these mechs and stuff, but it was more about the martial arts. And in the start of the movie, these guys relied on their robotic equipment. It sounded like something the Power Rangers would do in their Megazords. And, eventually that gets turned on its head when Garmadon outplays them. And that's what leads to Lloyd trying to take drastic measures to win, and it backfiring. And it turns out they can do the things that made the show what most notable for. Those special powers, and they decided to put the technology to the side. Something Master Wu just said they should do earlier. I will say this as a good. I love the scene with Garmadon and Sensei Wu, because they clearly were homaging that fighting as a Jackie Chan fight, and it was amazing.
It was amazing.
You know,
It was amazing.
it was a good Jackie Chan fight, and it was Jackie Chan's fight. I caught on to that. It's like awesome.
There were quite a few homages in terms of set and location.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that they had so many locations. They weren't just stuck in one little desktop imaginary thing.
Mm-hmm.
They were like vivid, doing stuff.
And you know, the one last good I think I have
Mm-hmm.
is I like the fact that it doesn't always work to show the bad guys what they have done wrong and how it affects other people, because not all the bad guys are going to respond to it. But you got Ebenezer Scrooge. He was a villain in the Christmas Carol.
Mm-hmm.
Three ghosts and his old business partner, who's now dead, show him, hey, you're being a tool. Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he stops it. It doesn't quite work that way for Garmadon, but I won't tell you how it ends up, but he does see what his actions, both from a long ago and more recent, have done. And that was a nice little twist. You don't get to see that in movies, and that was kind of a nice twist, because they say, hey, we're Lego, we're a kids movie. How can we make this engaging for everyone? You know, and I to myself, so I say, well, it's a kids movie, it should be just engaging for kids, but they don't play like that. They try to get everyone involved, and I think that was a nice touch.
But a lot of good, family-friendly movies back in our day were engaging to adults, too. And that's what was one of the best things to it. Like Aladdin. Who didn't like Aladdin?
Right.
Yes.
You could understand what was going on in that thing. The Lion King. That's
Yes.
Disney,
Oh, yes.
but that was like life and death serious.
And even early Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, when they first came out, all that was good. I mean, they were funny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you clearly knew
The animatronics was amazing.
amazing, and you enjoyed it. You know, and I actually see, this is September. There's probably going to be so many Lego sets up under the tree, because actually, if it wasn't for the fact that I know I wouldn't play with them, I'd probably go out and buy Ninjago for myself.
Well, if you want, we could watch
No,
the...
don't want to replace that new Tiffany ring I'm requesting. Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
But we could show you the show and see what you think about it. But that's another discussion for another time.
Yeah.
Well, as for me, I can't add on to anything else other than not only did I see similarities to Power Rangers, but also just a little bit to Captain Planet. We had Earth,
yeah.
we had fire,
Yes.
no wind, but they mentioned it.
They mentioned
We got water, and, ice, and of course, green, which is, spoiler alert, life could also be heart.
Yes.
So they were pushing some Captain Planet references there too.
But unlike Captain Planet, they actually bring up lightning, and it's like, I know lightning's definitely not an element.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, neither is fire, but we go with it. But they mentioned lightning. It's like, hey, where's lightning? I can always see people with fan fiction for Captain Planet with lightning, or mention, why don't they have lightning? Why don't they have the Sixth Ranger like Planeteer with the power of lightning? And,
Lightning, I don't think is an element,
yeah.
but
But
ice may be just a sub-element of water. So what do I know?
But I mean, no, you're right. But I just thought I think it was funny that they just incorporated it. But there was even a scene in the movie where that one of the characters actually does say it like this, like earth, fire, earth, fire, water, ice.
Mhm.
You know, it's like I thought they couldn't say wind, but
Yeah.
I thought that was a nice little touch.
Mm-hmm. But that was just my take on it. In addition to what you guys said. So now, here's the hard part. Anything bad to say about the movie? Something that you may have thought that they did all right, but not as good as you would think, or could need improvement, that sort of thing.
The first thing is it's a nitpick, so I won't go along with it. Out of all three Lego Ninja series movies, this is probably the weakest of the three. But again, that's a nitpick. I enjoy myself with it. The other thing is something CinemaSins wouldn't normally do, and they did it once with Dragon Ball Evolution because they wanted to troll the series and get that stupid over 9,000 joke.
Of course.
But basically, they don't compare stuff from one similar franchise, but from a movie that was in a franchise to a totally different show based in that franchise or medium. And I shouldn't really do it either. And like I said, it's its own movie. But I'm just gonna bend the rules a little bit and say that while I appreciate them telling their own story, and this is kind of how I feel about the Street Fighter movie from way back when, I also like their take on most of the characters, but I just can't let it go where Kai in the show, in the Ninjago show, initially started off as the main character, and then he shared that screen time with the other ninjas, specifically his sister Nia and Lloyd. But he was still relatively important. Kai in this movie barely did anything. Like I said, Cole was a DJ. They added that for the movie, but it was his thing. Jay's neurotic tendencies from the show were turned up to 11. Nia had very much a lot of lines. Sensei Wu had a lot of lines. Lloyd's mom had a lot of lines. Garmadon was practically all over the film. Kai was just, he just said, yeah, that's right. Yeah, maybe one or two lines where he just said something other than agreeing, or oh snap, or buzzword, G, and it kind of, Zane. Zane was also in the background, but like Jay, they played up his tendencies of being a robot. Spoiler alert, he's a robot. Mm-hmm. They don't really bring up too much, but yeah, he's a robot. And did he mention he's a robot? Yeah. But I don't mind that at all. But Kai's like, he didn't have to be the main character in this movie. This is Lloyd's movie. This is Garmadon's movie. But it's disappointing that they kind of dogged out Kai so bad in this movie. And that's not the fault of Michael Pena. Not at all. I strictly give that to the writers. They really couldn't do anything with Kai, and he was so important to the Ninjago show. He was like the first important action figure they had, Lego figure they had, and they really didn't do anything with him. And that's a bit of a disappointment. Again, that doesn't take away from the movie, but it's just kind of a personal pet peeve of mine. Which the only other pet peeve is and I understand why they did it, and it's a minor nitpick. They traded up the likes of skeletons and snakes and stone warriors for Garmadon's minions for these goofy Aquaman villains. And you know what? That's a nitpick because it worked, but I'd rather have something a little bit more menacing, which they delivered, and I can't say what they delivered because it's a spoiler, but it's also funny. But to a Lego character, that's terrifying. Mm-hmm. But, I would have liked to see minions that were more threatening. But, the Star Wars has stormtroopers.
Well, you can certainly blame that because the fact that every minion's got to be all, relatable and likable, like the minions from Stupid, Despicable Me. Those aren't my minions. My minions were the minions from Overlord. Now, those were minions.
Yeah. So, I'm done.
I have to agree with you. As a big fan of the Ninjago cartoons or 3D cartoon series, I have to be double mind of that because what they have here was great for people who didn't watch the cartoon series and enjoyed the movie. Then they completed it without much of a problem. Like Blue, you love the characters from the movie, right?
Right.
And I know that. And it didn't do anything wrong. But since I watched the show and watched it for 7 or 8 seasons now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Just about.
I have their personalities and mindset. Personality in my mind. It's a mindset now. So having these characters outside of Lloyd for the rest of the ninjas not be the personalities that I've watched the show it's a little different. I almost on the verge of jarring.
Yeah.
If they were just a little bit more like their TV counterparts, then my whole movie and TV continuity mindset would be more in the center, and I would have been had. But since they decided to give them different personalities and different likes and the like, other than brother and sister, but that's still the same thing. It's a little different, and I'm not saying that it's bad, but for fans of the show like me, it may not be what they're expecting. So there's that. Also, for me, the force scene was good. when they were doing the trials of the second half of the movie. But I'll have to admit, in the action scenes in the beginning of the movie, things were a little too fast and cluttered. It was hard to keep up. That's one of the downsides to having a movie comprised entirely of Legos. It's really hard to determine what Legos are what, who's in what, what's going on, what's this machine, what's this thing, who's in there, where's everybody, everything's going on, it's crazy, and it's hard for me to track. And I play video games for a living, so basic colors and fast movements are sort of my MO. It's a little much in this. So, there's that. But that's just me. Whoop.
Well, for me, I think the bad is almost for the same reasons that you mentioned, but in a different way. Because I didn't watch the series and weren't really familiar with the characters, there wasn't really a lot of backstory or why do I care about these 5 people that just show up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's clear that you will care about Lloyd throughout the movie because they make you care. But there's other characters he's with other than his crime fighting buddies and let's go out and do it. Okay. Because I wasn't familiar with who they were. So, I mean, I kind of got the gist of it eventually that, yeah, these people have this role and they're going to do this and they're really close and they're tight. Nothing else about them. And the storyline didn't offer anything. They showed up at the beginning and they kind of intermittently interwove themselves here and there, but who they were? Do I know their names again? Not really. So it's a nitpick because I still enjoyed it. And yeah, I can connect the dots somewhat. But I think it would have been nice if they would have, maybe in their quest to try to tie in the storyline with the way the series was portraying these individuals, it would have also helped solidify a little bit more about these characters for those who don't know them at all.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, again, just a nitpick, is I think that it was awesome to see Jackie Chan.
Mm-hmm.
He was really cool. He did a great job, and I liked his role, and he represented well. Now, I think there was still some vagueness, like he tried to bring these, and this could be a spoiler, so if you haven't seen it, kind of turn away for like a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there was some vagueness as to this whole green thing.
Uh-huh.
I get it. He did what he could do, and I don't want to say any more about it for those who didn't see it and see what you think.
Right.
But except through the whole movie and even at the end, I'm still thinking, green. Okay. So,
Green.
but again, that's a nitpick.
Yes.
That's just
Earth, fire, water, ice, lightning, and greed.
Yeah.
Greed. It made me surprised, but that's a fusion ninja.
So that was kind of all the nitpicks I really had. Overall, I agree with you about the real busyness of it all, but it seems to be a thing with Lego movies. When they have action, they seem to be really busy to me.
True.
I think that, at least they have light on them, so I can kind of sort of see.
I thought the original one was busy, but you could still see clearly what's what. Bad guys, good guys.
Yeah.
They were doing amazing things with the first one, too.
Yes.
They did. And then also, I think, too, because this was at the very beginning of the movie, you really didn't clearly know who the bad guys were and all that busyness.
Mm-hmm.
You could, you didn't have them all, like, march in a single file line and say, okay, those are the bad guys. I already know who they are, so if I see them again, I'll know they're bad. No, they just showed up in airplanes, and then all of a sudden, all the stuff ensued. So it was like,
And I have to say, Backlash does have a point. If they were like evil skeletons or monsters, it might have been easier to know what's what.
Absolutely.
But since they were looking like doofy guys and like old SpongeBob and girls and SpongeBob get up, it was kind of hard to tell the difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
But those are, for me, just nitpicky things. I wouldn't have that in any way stand between a person going to go see this movie or not.
And that comes to our ratings. Who wants to go first?
Well, you know what? I'll say this. Like I said, a lot of nitpicks, aside from the Kai thing. But that's really not the fault of Michael Pena or the guys who did the Ninjago show. It's the writers, and they felt like they did what they had to do. They, you know, how people always say that too many characters clutter up the movie. That's what I felt. A lot of people felt what happened with the Street Fighter movie. That people thought what happened with the X-Men movies, the Fantastic Four movies. Only Avengers really got it truly right. So they felt like they had to do it. They kept the focus on Lloyd. I won't say, I mean, but I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. A lot of humor came from Garmadon. A lot of it came from Wu and Jackie Chan playing Wu. Even the guy who played Jay was pretty funny. There was a lot of good emotion near the middle of the movie. I thought it was fantastic. Even the minions for Garmadon were pretty cute, pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
But they definitely exploited the fact that they're Legos. Like that.
Of course.
I can't say exactly one of the main things that I really enjoy, because it's a big spoiler, literally big.
Mm-hmm.
While I won't say the movie is perfect, you know, I can say that, you know, it's enough. It's, I mean, coming after the woman girl power, the extravaganza that is Wonder Woman, coming after Guardians of the Galaxy, a movie that made me personally have the feels at the end. It was a loaded summer. So again, while the movie isn't perfect, I will give it a pass. And you know what? And this is, and I mean, the only reason I don't give it a platinum pass is what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
I won't use my pun again to spoil it. And because, you know, again, it's the weakest of the three. It's something we've seen before. If it had a little bit more innovation, maybe I'd give it a platinum pass. But for right now, it was a pass. I enjoyed it. It was a high pass.
Right.
A high pass. A pass plus? Can I do that?
Yeah. I think we initiated the pass. I thought I initiated either the pass plus or pass with honors. I forget.
Yeah, pass with honors, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. That still doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
That's it.
Okay.
Pass with honors, pass plus.
Blue?
I actually think I'm going to give it a platinum pass. And the reason for that, yes, I had some nitpicks, and absolutely I agree with the ones that you guys observed with. But overall, I thought the movie was just so well done. I just thought it was just flawless, and all of that execution of all those little Legos just came to life, and all the little things that they wanted us to feel at every scene. It was a very feeling movie. I mean, you were there the whole time, and you were feeling things about these little Lego characters, and I thought that was pretty cool. So any kid that will walk out of there will certainly get a bunch of Legos and just have a field day creating his own little world, because they made it happen. And I also thought that Garmadon was just excellent. He was just excellent. He was just excellent, funny. Of course, they seem to always do that with their central bad guy characters. They do a really great job. I mean, he had highs and he had lows and highs and lows. He was goody bad, he goody bad, he goody bad, all through the movie. Mm-hmm. And he did a good job with it. So, for me, I enjoyed it. I didn't want to go. I was forced to go. I went.
I know, you were ornery that day.
Yeah.
Like a hornet.
That's because you worked me so hard.
You worked yourself hard. Don't blame me on that one.
So I didn't have a choice. But I had such a great time, and I was really glad it did. It lifted my spirits, and so for that, I think if anybody is having a gnarly day and doesn't want to admit that the world is still a cool place, go see the movie, and you'll walk out feeling really good.
Good.
Find the class perfection.
Well, I'm going to have to agree with my cohort's backlash here and give it a pass plus, because even though it was an excellent movie, I just can't help myself as being a fan of the show. I mean, the personalities are just way too different. Garmadon's was actually an improvement. So I sort of like the comedy Garmadon than the show Garmadon. But as for Lloyd was the most like himself from the show, more or less.
Yeah.
But the rest, I just can't let that one slide, because to put it in perspective for you, Blue, it's like you've watched Game of Thrones all this time, and they say, hey, guess what? Game of Thrones movie. And then Peter Dinklage is like a surfer Hey, dude, he's exactly the same, but he has a surfer accent and stupid. And then Darenitis, instead of having dragons, she has golems. Just walking golems.
Kitties.
Or dogs. Just giant dogs. Dire wolf, like giant dire wolves.
No.
And then the people of the north, they have the dragons.
Oh, see, that puts everything in perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just those little changes that don't radically change what the original content was, but just enough that makes you feel like this is a little not what I was expecting. It's still good, but still not what I'm used to.
Right.
So I gotta give it a plus for that. Still a great movie. If you never watched Ninjago, an excellent movie, platinum pass on perfection. But if you are a fan of the show like me and you want to see what it is, it's still a good movie. Just don't expect what you've seen from the show.
Gotcha.
So pass plus. So that still means it's a very good movie that you should go and see, though maybe on a weekday, not a weekend, because
It's crowded.
It's crowded, and you don't want to get neck problems like I did.
Take the kids, take your parents, have some fun.
Yeah, it's a good time to be alive. Legos are in town and all that. So, until next time, though, this is One Drawn the Gamer Boss Bronze,
And the information on Virtue Backlash.
And the First Lady of Media Blue.
telling you to stay tuned for the latest or the next video game or modern transmission. Till next time, take care.